Welcome, everybody. Sorry about the late start, but I got home from work and took a nap and didn't wake up until now. So I figured what we do, I haven't done anything on this thing. I don't know, during the week, especially during this cold weather, I just can't get motivated. Um, I figured we'd finish up what I left up where I left off last night so you get a better idea. Let's see here. No profound things to say today, but let's get to work on this tip. We'll finish this up. Sound is good. Thank you, Dan. Okay, where I left off last night is I got this basically shaped. I wanna emphasize something that I noticed that I missed last night. When you're making a tip like this line right here, right on this front edge, it has, so I don't know how to explain this. So first off, the tip is swooping down this way. It's swooping down this way. I have it straight so that it's parallel with the leading edge. If you leave it like that, the covering will look it'll be a sharp edge right there. You don't want that. You want it to fare back this way. So you gotta move with the sheeting. I mean, this is pretty mundane stuff, and we're not going to stay on late tonight because, frankly, I didn't get up till late this morning. I went into work late. These videos are killing me. So what do we got here? So you have to kind of, I don't know, this part here is kind of an art to get correct, and it's trial and error. And I've done a lot of these tips like this. I forgot the 180 again. I know what I'll do. Let's try scabbing in a rib and see how that'll look. There was a post on my painting tools video that asked, what other tools do I use? This is the most important tool you can use. Sandpaper. I use a variety of hand tools. I mean, when I'm in St. Louis, I use power tools, and it goes a lot faster, but you can do all this stuff by hand. Good sharp blades. But most importantly, sandpaper. If you're not willing to sand, you're not really building. So I've got a little more than an hour just in this, so it'll be 4 hours just in tips. Of course, off camera it would move a little faster because I wouldn't have to explain it. And I'm getting a lot of dust here. Ooh. Broke my cap strip loose. So I need to wick some CA down there. Let's fix that. Cyanide. Shaping these tips is kind of an art. And it's something that I really can't teach on the internet. You kind of have to be here to see it up close. You don't want to go down any more than halfway on that. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do back here yet. I'll probably take a piece of 1/8 and maybe incorporate, I don't know, maybe incorporate a rib there. We'll give it a whirl. I need to get the vacuum over here. Sorry, but I can't have too big a mess in here. Okay. All right. So now I got to eyeball this. Let's see if we can a little better. So you don't want to go down any more than halfway on the 1/2 inch. So let's get a pen. Make a mark because we're getting close on the leading edge already. Remember, I'm making tips for covering. I'm always thinking a step ahead. How is this tip going to look covered? Looks like I got. This is something you probably shouldn't do if you're new at sanding. And the nice thing about it, it's only wood. If you screw it up, you just cut it off and do it again. Mr. Clean is good. Hey, Frog. Like, subscribe, and share, everybody. Got 9 and 9. That's good. Up a little higher. If you can feel it, don't use your eyes are good, but your fingers are better. You can feel it. It ain't sand enough. Eyes are good, fingers are better. Almost. Now this one here, I probably can get away without cutting it off because I can still hollow it out from the inside. Yeah, it's pretty good. Go right down to your center line. So put it right there. Just rubbing. So basically, what you're doing here is you're just taking it away and blending it in. Happy little circles, the Bob Ross of sandpaper. I can feel that right there, and if you can feel it, it'll show up in the covering. And the trick is to get all those feely spots out of it before you cover it. Feely spots, yeah. And we almost got it. So now I have to think about what I'm going to do on the back half. Because I have to start blending it back this way. This gets tapered down up this way so that the covering has something to lay flat on. Yeah, you could round this off. But what happens when you round this off is when the covering comes down, it leaves little waves in the covering where the dope's attached to the wood and it doesn't stick down right. So you really want a nice crisp line. That's why a lot of times I'll put a perimeter around it. But on this particular model, because I'm trying to make it as light as possible, you have to leave parts off. So we're going to forego the looks of that crisp line. I mean, it'll still be nice, but we're leaving the wood off. I think I've done a wing tip video before. And these videos are long-winded and boring. But hopefully, they'll help you build a better model. Let's see here. I got 2, 3, so I just need a wire. Should put that back in the hinge box. Okay. Let's sand this and see about maybe a rib. I don't know. What do we want to do? I'm not sure. Things that make you go, Lightest silk span I can get, Dan. Let's see what we want to do there. I guess we'll get some wood, some light wood. Sixteenth is not high enough, so it's got to be 3/32 or better. Let's see here. That's 16th. Ah, come on, guys. That's rock 8th. RC 8th inch. And I got some RC wood. I think I'm going to do a video just of me going through my wood stack. That would be the wood stack that I have here. Let's see here. I don't want to cut up a brand new sheet. Okay, we can use this. Here we go. Got so much crap up here, I can't move again. Gotta clean off the bench. So last night, that tip started out like this. And I can do the other side too, I suppose. I still need to make my lead out block and cut it into the tip before I go any farther. The lead out blocks that I use are the ones with the push eyelets in it. They're the lightest. And they look the cleanest, I think. Some people don't like them because they say the eyelets come out. But once you get lead out position, I just glue them in. These guys that are continually trimming, which is beyond me, keep making adjustments on something that's already working. I guess try to make it better, but set it and forget it. That's what I say. Okay, let's square that end up and see if we can't make us a slick tip. And what are we going to do for square? I guess we'll use this. And I need a saw, and I just have it in my hand. Yep, we use that, and that saw blade. Oh man, I need to clean this mess up. This is my great-grandfather's square. So it's got to be a good one. It's really old. Or my grandfather's square. My great-grandfather's. I had woodworking tools from my great-grandfather. He was a shipbuilder. And I ain't talking about metal ships. I'm talking about wooden ships. Now, I'm putting in a great big piece here, and about 90% of it will get sanded off. But you might as well put in the big piece so that you don't leave out a spot. So if I put it in short, it would end up where I'd have to add another piece, if I just guess. So what I do is, you watch me draw the perimeter around that tip. And I probably should have cut this at an angle again. Damn. Because we want this piece to go straight. Or do we? Yeah, we still want that angle on there. That'll be close enough. Close enough for government. So a lot of guys would put this here, like this, right straight with the trailing edge. But that would leave a crappy looking line right there. So you want to put it up here like this. So let's cut it out here. Man, that's dull. Okay, I got that piece. And the other side will be the same way. Let's see. Here we go, like so. Now you notice this is hanging way down here. Well, that won't look very good. So now we got to do the inside. You get a piece like this. You want that line, that corner right there, to come even with the trailing edge sheeting. We can lock this off here. Looks like I can cut some more of that off too. And you think, well, why am I spending so much detail on this? This all shows up through the covering. Yeah, I think we'll leave that rib out. We don't need a rib in there. Okay. Out of slow set CA. Don't have any more either. I don't believe. Nope, I have to wick it in with thin set, I guess. Wick it in with thin set and love it. Stay away from this edge right here with thin set because it'll make a hard spot. So we'll stand it up, wick it from the other side. And now we'll grind it off. Should be able to finish this tip up. We've been on 30 minutes. I'll stay on until I get this rough sanded out anyway. Now, in order to blend this, you might have to put a little super fill in it, but not normal. So we got Buenas noches. ¿Dónde es Rucas? And the mariachis. That didn't take long. That cleaned up real nice. Now this right here, this is by eye. This right here is higher than this right here, so you have to have it lower because the tip is, the sheeting is moving down in this direction. And if I'd have had a thicker piece of wood to do the tip with, like a piece of 3/4 or something, it would have been more sanding, but it would have made me not have to add this piece. The Bob Ross of Balsa. Eric Brenna Streaming and Bob Ross of Balsa. Oh, ground it up there. Yep, gonna have to have a little super fill on this one. Oh well. Let's see what happens here. Edge of the sandpaper caught the edge of the balsa wood and nicked out a chunk of wood. So we'll add a little super fill right there in that nick. This all needs super filled anyway. This area right here on models is really tough to do. What is this wing going in? It's a remake of a late 1960s airplane, the Continental, but it's going to be the Continental XL. Now, I built one that I sold to Tim Reedman. I think that's his last name. But it had a geobolt wing in it, and I like this wing better. This wing has great characteristics. See, I can still feel that right there. The problem is, I don't know, I might sand it a little more. What happens there in that area, it ends up with a little valley. So you have to always put superfill in there because it's changing of the angles. Like right here, this is low. But if I sand that out of there, it'll be a smooth low. And I don't want that. So I'll superfill this from the top of this all the way back. Let's see here. So follow your line. You don't want to go down below that center line you drew in there before. You notice that I'm sanding up to the line that I put in that, so it gets a nice half round for the covering to attach to. These are kind of tricky, these tips, but not really. And nothing too tricky. Take your time. Shit, I got an hour and a half in this tip already. And it ain't even done, so it might be 3 hours making a tip. But what does it matter? Especially nowadays. Well, we're halfway there. See this area, that's a chunk that I dug out of it, so it'll get superfill right there, and in this area right here. Because if you don't, it'll look like crapola. Any questions, guys, on this? I mean, I know this is rather mundane, rather boring, but these are all the things you have to do to build a nice model. And I took you through start to finish on the Tucker XL. Yeah, I do. It becomes obvious that, yeah, you need a bunch of sanding blocks and tools. I got sandpaper on everything. This is a sanding stick and paint stick, and put it on this roll here. Whatever it takes. This is a popsicle stick. Okay, this spot right here is still high. Need to clean that up too. Believe it or not, you'll see that edge through the covering right there. So that's got to be a nice crisp edge. Because the covering will come down and it'll still be laying on this right here, and then it will start smoothing out. I got the Eastwood polywogs, whatever it takes to make the shape, you know. That's what you kind of got to do. 45 minutes, so I guess we're going to stay on for an hour. I would like to get this one side done. Yeah, I guess I don't have to, maybe a little. Open hand sanding like I'm doing is not something that I recommend for a beginner to do. Always use a block. But I got over 50 years sanding, and I kind of know what I can get away with. And even at that, sometimes it'll get away from me. Can't feel it, so we're in good shape. I see so many guys struggling with these little simple operations. And I'm hoping that when I show you, I can't say it's the correct way. Because the correct way is any way you do it, end up with the good results. I'm showing you a way to do things that ends up with good results. Not always perfect, but we strive to be. I have yet to build a perfect airplane. There's always some bugger somewhere. But the finish actually does start with the first piece of wood cut. You want all the fits tight. And hell, you know, I might put the silk span on this and look at it and go, wow, that's no good, and tear it off and rework the tip. Doesn't happen often, but it has happened. So remember, I told you when I first started this, I'm sanding this back in this direction and out in that direction, and it has to go this direction and that direction. So this is like a four-way compound curve. It's really kind of complicated the way it's shaped. And these are sanding blocks I made out of just some balsa wood. Voila, that's one tip right there, less the superfill. What do you think? Is that gonna make it? I drew that pen line on there, so we're going to sand the pen line off. You certainly don't want that bleeding through the tissue. But I'll leave it on. I'll leave this line on here until I flip it over and do the other side, and then take it off. But I really like to get the lines off of this. That doesn't look like I'm going to. Is everybody happy with the Pampa magazine coming to Stunt Hanger? That's quite the addition. That was my idea 15 years ago, but they poo-pooed it. And now, this wasn't my idea this time. I guess the guys had been talking about it, and they got together. Wow, that's finally good. Yeah, it must be a good idea. So, there's still some bugs to work out. I'm going to have to get with Hacks and see if he can write me a script for some modules. But I'm happy. That came out nice. Another thing about when I'm appearance judging or whatever, make these, if that distance is going to be a 16th, make sure it's a 16th all the way around. Or if it's going to be a 32nd, make sure it's a 32nd all the way around. You don't want it a 16th here, a 32nd there, and an 1/8 inch over there. So I will probably spend, a little bit more time on that particular spot, because it's a few thousandths off right on that turn right there. The bad thing about this is if you go too far, then the whole gap gets bigger. I know it sounds a little much, but attention to the details makes an outstanding model. If you yeah, it looks perfect. Yeah, well, it ain't perfect. It's close, but it ain't perfect. When I was a kid, my dad would take us to the Orange County Fair in Pomona, California. And they had a round circular pool. And they would have hydroplanes, tethered hydroplanes, and V-boats, and cigar boats, and matchbox, or whatever you call them. And I was a kid, like 10 years old, and I would go look at those models and just be in awe of how perfect they were. And as a kid, they were perfect. I'm sure I could probably find some mistakes now, after 55 years later, 60 years later, you could find mistakes. And then you'd go look at the trains. I look at HO trains, and I see all the intricate little buildings, and all the things they've done, all the craftsmanship that went into that. I mean, that's impressive to me. I really like that kind of stuff. people that have worked with their hands to make something from nothing. All right, Dan, but does he write PHP? I would have to cut him loose with my whole site. Yeah, that come out good. I like it. So all that big piece that I, put in there, like I say, there's a little spot right there that needs a little superfill, but this gap right here will get superfill. So I will probably putty this from out here all the way to right here, and then sand it smooth. And there won't be much superfill left. It's only a skimming. But in order to make that transition flow, you kind of need that. And if you look over here at this transition here, the covering will come down and turn back towards this way. And I have this angled in this direction so that it comes in, and it should lay down flat. Okay, yeah, most of the guys that write code write C++, but this is PHP. And I got thousands of hours coding Stunt Hanger. Thousands of hours. But we might have to ask Hacks for a hand. I got a buddy who writes PHP. And this all this computer nonsense that I'm doing all started at Harley-Davidson in 1999 when Kevin Haney said, "You're going to have to learn how to do computers." I said, "Well, I don't know shit about computers." He said, "Well, you're going to have to." I said, "Why?" He said, "Harley-Davidson's going all digital technician." I said, "Okay, great." So the coder that lived downstairs from me in an apartment worked for NASA, and he had a bunch of computer crap. And I said, "Rory, can you teach me about computers?" He said, "Well, there's a bunch of parts over there. Go make yourself one." And I said, "Well, what does it take?" And he said, "A motherboard," and just he gave me a list of the components to look through and all the junk. And I built the first one, and I remember being on AOL, and it would go tick, 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 tick. It was the most ridiculously slow piece of junk. And then he started teaching me C++ and PHP. I mean, I'm no wizard, but the biggest thing about computers is if it's working, don't monkey with it. Everybody always wants to update, patch, update. Well, I'm sure I'm not done sanding. I'm sure it'll get sanded 4 or 5 more times. But it's basically roughed in. We can turn it over and do the other side. Now, I got to cut this off and hollow it out. Or maybe I'll just leave it on and hollow it out from the other side. Yeah, great. Yeah, I don't drink anymore. I haven't drank in 30 years. Yeah, I think on this one, I've got it feathered in so nice, I'll probably just cut this out. Cut this out from this side before I glue this block on or tack it on. So basically, I have to do this all over again on the other side. Another thing to make sure is that you get this line right here equal to the other side. Otherwise, it looks goofy at the end. So it's got to be straight, and then this filler piece that you put in here, it has to be in line and the same size with the same radius on it, so that when it comes down, it's transitions smoothly. Otherwise, it's goofy. But it turned out nice. I guess you guys can see that. So, as always, I appreciate you spending your time with me. I know this time is precious, and I hope you're learning something. I don't claim to know everything, but I know enough to get myself in trouble. Let's see. Trifle's my perfection. Perfection is no trifle, I guess. Always strive for perfection. You're never going to get it, but you might as well try to. This is a little high right here, so I'll be sanding on this. I won't bore you with watching me sand in the same spot. I'll sand on this some more probably before I go to bed. But the hour, and trust me, if you guys work along with me 1 hour a night, just one, within a couple of months you'll have an airplane, because it's not that difficult. You only got to build 4 parts. One night you spend an hour. Let's say you spend 5 hours cutting ribs. That's 1 week. You cut ribs. It takes, to put a wing together like this, it takes less than an hour to lay all the parts out. So you got all the parts cut, and you lay it all out, and then you spend 2 more nights making sure everything's perfect. So there's in less than 2 weeks you'll have a wing, and a fuselage is another week, so that's 3. And I can't see spending 5 hours on building an elevator stabilizer. So that's in a month you have an airplane framed up. Where you get in trouble, where the time comes in, is the sanding and the finish, because the finish takes 3 times as long as the woodwork. But if you spend an hour a night along with me sanding and doing whatever, within a month you'll have an airplane put together. It's not that hard, really. But you can't just watch me for an hour. You have to work for an hour. And that's the hard part. The discipline of actually going down to your shop or down to your basement or wherever your shop may be, and standing at the bench and utilizing the time that you have to get something done. If you're not doing anything, why bother? Why just watch me on YouTube? But that's basically it. And so anybody that says they don't have time to do it, I don't believe it. I ain't buying it. It don't take no time. We have, I will have built 2 within the 12 months when this one's done. No, 3, because I finished up the little Tucker too. And those were all projects an hour a night. Can't be that hard. All right, guys, I'm done. Been on an hour. I appreciate it. Like, subscribe, share. We're growing. Check out the Pampa section in Stunt Hanger. Doesn't have anything in there yet. Do not post in there yet. I have some suspects already. That's only for the district reps and the editor and the vice president and so on and so forth. I haven't figured out a couple of things. So if you get post in there, you're going to get deleted. Anyway, Bob Ross of Balsa says, see ya. Good night.